As of Wednesday, 13th October 2021, my Twitter account, @DavidJThunder, has been permanently suspended for reasons that are frankly baffling to me. I have taken a skeptical, non-mainstream position on a number of important public health policies in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. But I cannot understand how any of my arguments could reasonably be construed as purveying the sort of misleading information about COVID-19 that could justify terminating my account. The specific tweets of mine that sparked my account suspension involved a mix of moral reasoning and reasonable extrapolations from well-documented public evidence. Those tweets state opinions that are supported by well-regarded physicians, scientists, and analysts, even if those experts happen to be in a minority. The tweets that sparked my permanent account suspension could only be construed as misleading or harmful on an ideologically partisan approach that cherry-picks from the views of some public health authorities and experts while arbitrarily ignoring the views of others as irrelevant or invalid. I explain all of this in my open letter to Twitter, which you can find posted on my website, davidthunder.com. You can find a direct link to that letter below this video. The essence of modern science is contestation, debate, and exchange of conflicting arguments and perspectives in search of the truth. The science and principles of public policy and private conduct relevant to the COVID-19 pandemic involve very complex and thorny matters, such as the dynamics of disease transmission, the ethical acceptability of different risk-benefit trade-offs, the efficacy of emerging COVID treatments, and the moral appropriateness of highly intrusive and coercive political interventions. These are all matters upon which one should expect scientists, politicians, and citizens to disagree. Twitter, as a private company that controls a large part of the public sphere, has a special responsibility to allow scientific, moral, and political debate to unfold on its own terms and not to preemptively enforce an orthodoxy that willfully ignores significant areas of clinical practice and pretends that a large bulk of the scientific literature it disagrees with does not exist. If Twitter suppresses viewpoints and information based on its own reasonably contestable political, ideological, or scientific positions, or treats one school of thought as automatically self-validating or above question, it transforms its platform into an enemy of science and an instrument of partisan propaganda. When Twitter becomes the guardian of partisan ideology or narrow scientific orthodoxy, it effectively places its own platform at loggerheads with the purpose of the public sphere, which is to permit citizens, scholars, scientists, and public officials to put relevant evidence and arguments from different sources to the test until the best argument wins out. The idea of misleading information might be susceptible to a more or less ecumenical reading, but Twitter tends to interpret it in heavily partisan and exclusionary terms. On this partisan approach, misleading information is any information deemed to be misleading by official authorities and experts cherry-picked by Twitter, such as the World Health Organization or some national health authorities. But there is absolutely no reason to assume that a medical expert nominated to the World Health Organization or to some national health authority is more likely to purvey true and safe information than a professor of medicine at Harvard or Stanford Medical School. Science does not work like that, nor does any field of knowledge. I sincerely hope that the baseless cancellation of my Twitter account will serve as a wake-up call and a warning that we really do need to look for a way to build up a more diverse and competitive public sphere and shatter the oligopoly of Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter.